Yo, what up guys, Nakama here, and today another video about Lust for Truth, the game I'm, created, as you can see here. And yeah, I also managed to link the full soundtrack here. I don't think there is a spoiler in there. If you want to, you can just open the game and click on the soundtrack, or visit my gaming channel and find the soundtrack there. And also, yeah, in this game I've already, as you all know, linked all the credits here, except for maybe the stock images, the exact stock images I already used, or some sound effects. But I mean, do you guys want to visit that? I mean, I could if I have to, like, yeah. Also, yeah, I'll link it about in my of my Patreon is here. I actually kind of recommend you guys downloading the video game from the description of this video. Yeah, I think it should be in the description of the video, and play the game for yourselves, and then watch this video, and I'll talk about the gameplay more, the history of creation and whatnot, as well as the things I had to go through. Anything you just genuinely want to comment on about my game. So if you guys start the game, you should not have a save file here. I'm not going to press the load button because I have save files here, and you guys looking at it might be a little bit spoiler. But and also, fun fact, I did change some stuff, like okay, first of all, this game is not glitchy, okay? It's not like stuttering like the previous video I made. The problem with that was the fact that I was a bit of a novice when it comes to frame rates, and I didn't realize that, oh, I should have switched Bandicam to constantly constant frames per second instead of variable. And because I had the setting to variable, it ended up the frame rates ended up changing when I played slow res game, such as my own game. But yeah, that's not gonna happen anytime soon, because I know my stuff better now, and the footage you're going to see will probably be much more smoother than the last video I did. Oh man, like, I literally want to just talk about everything again, simply because the previous video is such a trashy experience, maybe at least visually. So I actually added this tutorial. So during the investigation, the cops last suspects their alibi, and their alibi will be stored here inside this alibi. The alibi will have a certain structure, and the structure is like this. You see, if you watch the previous video, there used to be a 12:00 p.m., but I think that's a little too confusing. Yeah, the characters use a 24-hour system in this, but they also add AM and PM just for the fun of it. But yeah, like the AM and PM are not necessary. Like the characters say, oh, 12, oh, 13, oh, 14, or 14 AM or 14 PM is fine. The reason I created this system is for very funny reasons. It's because when I played mystery games on my Discord server, my friends always used to complain about and argue about AM and PM, especially about whether 12 AM is noon or midnight. Like people just keep confusing 12 PM to 12 AM, and it was just a hassle. And also, I could use the 24-hour system, but the problem with the 24-hour system is that people always say, oh, it's 19 o'clock and 20 o'clock, 21 o'clock, and saying o'clock is just, and typing and saying it is just such a mouthful. So saying something like 14 p.m., 14 p.m., 21 p.m. Is so cool. So I had this interesting idea, and I made it so that the world of Lust for Truth follows this time rule. Yeah, I'm not going to voice act all of these. You guys can just read. I can just read. the police car came in. Fancy again, much more smoother. You should have a smoother thing. I just hope that it's smoother in my video editor, because the gameplay in the previous video was smooth. It's just that the recorder kind of fucked up. Serious, Salim. Funny. Is that the roof? Go look this way. Yeah, Helen goes first. Yeah, Helen's definitely a lot more cooler and nicer. Like, you can see that Rintaro and the Clancy are, taking a little bit of distance from the suspect, or the woman, the wife. But Helen's just like goes for her and just grabs her hand and says, "It's okay." Helen's cool. I mean, the detectives in general are pretty cool. I mean, I have a lot of favorite characters. I'll probably talk about my favorite characters the more the story goes on. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of the writing. If anything, I think you guys, I kind of made it so that the previous video I did had a problem with the visuals, and also sort of in the audio section too, because I kind of like increased my own voice a little too high, I think. But if you're hearing like the soundtrack for this game is banger, the visuals are honestly kind of the most mid aspect of it. I mean, mid is a strange term, because in terms of like visual novel standards, this is like average. Like, okay, yeah, sure, like Ace Attorney, Danganronpa, Zero Skill, whatnot, like those have good sprite work too. And there are still a lot of like good production, like visual novels do have like CG art and whatnot. So those are pretty good. But there's also a lot of bottom of the barrel visual novels that people don't even talk about. And mine is currently like something like that, but I think it looks okay. I'm definitely interested in like commissioning artists to do it, but unfortunately I don't have money to do that. My friends might help me out if they're really feeling up for it. That will be very cool. But it is what it is. Fushichin says something like Darwinist shit. Helen's like, "Fuck you, Fushi bitch." Yeah, I love the nickname she gave him. Good and bad. That's also just a blah blah blah. I'm just like an innocent child. I don't know what's good or bad. Disgusting. Okay, this game will be fucking amazing if it also has a voice acting, because some of these lines are so fucking hilarious. And if they added a voice acting, it would be just icing on the cake. Because this script is definitely strong. Almost too strong, I will say, because it's very referential in certain comedic moments. Or just like outright fucking offensive in some regards. But some people are going to get offended. I don't write stories to appeal to people. I just do what I want. I kind of wanted to make a warning sign or something. Like, this game has some serious shit in it. Stuff. If you are, sensitive to that, you should, beware. I don't know. I kind of didn't feel like doing it. Yeah, we live in a society dialogue. Step one to the heart. Yeah. So yeah, if you read, the detectives actually arrived here at 3 a.m. in the morning, and the victim supposedly died from 21 p.m. to 23 p.m. Finding the time of death is very interesting in detective fiction, because if you watch Detective Conan or some detective flicks, you will know that the inspectors usually check the body, see how stiff it is, if it is, and also they also maybe in modern society they probably just do autopsy through science, chemical diagnosis or something like that. Middle-age crisis. Yeah, I changed it to black hair. It was, and also if you noticed, I tried to characterize the characters a bit's personality with we've discussed the name text, name fonts. Yeah, two knives were missing. Like, I think this is also the advantage of, I mean, this is my writing style, but basically, there are 14 or so suspects, yeah. I definitely like to write stories with many suspects because looking at something like Ace Attorney or maybe sometimes in Detective Conan, like the suspect number is a little too few. Whereas in Danganronpa, you get 16 characters from the get-go, so the number of suspects are definitely big. And yeah, the more the suspects, the merrier. Like, I'm not going to like claim that every single character in this story is going to get a lot of screen time, a lot of development or whatnot. But like, it doesn't matter, you know. Many characters, many characters, the more merrier. And in regards to this story, I might also write a sequel. And yes, this game does have an end. It isn't just some sort of a demo. It actually is a very self-contained story. That's also very interesting thing about. So yeah, this is like my definite seal of approval. And my promise is the fact that this story has a satisfying ending. I mean, depending on what you consider satisfying, but it is satisfying to me, at least. But yeah, I'm definitely up for a sequel, man, because even if it's a self-contained story, and even if the ending is good, I still think it definitely deserves a sequel, and it's short. Definitely short compared to like an average Danganronpa game or an average Ace Attorney game, that's for sure. But still somehow managed to be quite hard. Like these rich folks, man. Like I try to imagine so hard how it is to like live in a rich house. Like yeah, the parents have like all this electronic locks, and they have the master key card, and they have servants, and they have bodyguards, and they have cars and garage, and they have mansions. If you try to like skip forward, then certain animations kind of fuck up. Like the animations where the characters come out from the other side of the screen and coming into the screen or going out of the screen is fine, but characters moving inside the screen kind of messes up if you're skipping it forward. If you're playing at normal speed and playing it blah blah blah, it's fine. But I mean, this isn't necessarily a big problem. But I definitely think I could. It's something that I could fix in next version. And yeah, this is just version 1. And you guys should definitely join my Discord server and post, you know, certain glitch or some errors regarding the gameplay or the writing. Maybe some sort of a plot hole they pointed out. Like, see, this is the thing. Like, this story does like did get a lot of like reinvention and rewriting. Like as I previously said, this story is supposed to be originally was a Discord murder mystery game where I just post a bunch of alibis and text, and I interacted with my Discord group and had a fun playing game. But I also changed quite a few stuff in this version when I adapted this into a visual novel. And just recently I also added a few sequences too. I generally think the logic in this story is pretty strong. It's very enjoyable. Logic is very understandable, but still I think I'm worried that there might be a plot hole because at the end of the day only I'm like keeping an eye on it. And you guys as the players should be my my beta testers. So, you know, join my Discord, talk to me. If you're really interested in just helping out in this production of this game and just comment about your opinions. I mean, in general, I really like hearing opinions regarding my creation. I'll definitely also like make a video regarding the programming that I got into this game. Because that's also a very interesting topic, like what programming did I use? How does the game exactly function? I mean, yeah, like I also wanted to make a Ren'Py tutorial because I think Ren'Py is just such a cool program that's easy, somewhat easy to learn. I mean, then again, instead of making tutorial, I probably should be focusing on my next games and learning more about Ren'Py, because Ren'Py is also a difficult program. Definitely, it's not something like Exploder or something like that. It's definitely a programming. It's easier than Python, easier than like working on Unreal Engine. Because I tried to work on Unreal Engine. There's a little too hard for me currently. And in general, Ren'Py just does whatever I wanted to do. I genuinely wanted to make a mystery game, and Ren'Py does exactly what I want. If anything, Ren'Py's program itself is sufficient. It's just that I lack the sprites. I guess I lack the soundtrack too, but like this soundtrack is fine. It's good. It's really good. But I don't own the rights to it. But I think it's fine, honestly. Like royalty-free music is pretty darn good. Like, I'm still fucking surprised that people don't know about Ross Bogdan. Like there were some like famous royalty-free music artists there. Like you guys might know, you might not know that person, but you definitely heard their music. Yeah, like Fushichin is definitely very observant. But like I tried, I think you will probably understand more the more the story continues. But I definitely tried to make it so that the characters, the detectives, maybe not even not the detectives. Sometimes the witnesses and suspects, they all work together. Like it's just not a one-man show. You know, kind of like real life, because real life is never a one-man show. It's very detailed, and you can definitely see that it is a rich person's mansion. Like I can only dream about living in this house. I mean, I'm already just having in this house, but in general, I really like this huge mansion. And if you feel lonely in this huge mansion, you just like bring your friends and live with your friends. That'll also be really fucking cool. Yeah, some information might be red herring, some might be really useful. But yeah, I'm trying to like understand what's the best way to tackle this game, because I definitely think you guys should like just generally read all the evidence or like what the characters say once, and then just forget about it. And when a question comes, you just read the files and then try to answer. Maybe that's more enjoyable. Or you can, try to be big brain and like read all the files, theorize, and try to get certain plot points before it happens. But yeah, because you definitely like this is also one of the like the things I appreciate about Danganronpa specifically. And sometimes in Ace Attorney too, but Ace Attorney also kind of like spoils their culprits a little bit. But sometimes there are certain mysteries you can like guess way before the story reveals itself. And this game is like that too. Like if you're really fucking smart, you can like guess what the characters did way beforehand, or what's going to happen way before it happens. It's hard, and sometimes it's going to just boil down to guesswork. Yeah, Fushichin definitely took an interest in that camera footage or whatever. I guess the strange thing about like using Waifu Labs and Art Breeder to create these characters is de-aging. But like it's the problem with anime art style in general. Like okay, Fushichin is supposed to be 40 years old. Yeah, around that age. I might like change it up, but like currently in this story, he's 40 years old. Like none of the characters actually say, "Oh, Fushichin is exactly this old," but yeah. But Marianne is 48 years old. Yeah, it actually gets mentioned in the story. You don't know that. Like looking at the sprites, it's so hard to like say, "Oh, these characters are this age." Like Fushichin looks like a fucking teenager. At least a young adult. I mean, is 40 a young old adult? It's definitely an adult age. And Marianne, the only like thing that makes you think she's old is the fact that she's a bit thin, I guess, here, and she has a large forehead, and her hair is Huh. Yeah, like I definitely like scroll through the characters in Rifle Labs, and when I like encountered this, I was like, yeah, that looks like Marianne. I'm definitely digging this. I don't know, like how do you even distinguish like who's old and who's not old in an anime art style? Like I'm having a hard time distinguishing, like wondering why I find this sprite to be like exactly fitting for Marianne, because I do find it fitting. I didn't just like find any random like photo and just like picture it here. There are some really funny photos that I chose for certain characters that you guys will fucking, that'll instantly make this game feel like a fanfic fan creation when you see it. But like I really want you guys to forgive me, because hey, this is a zero budget game. I beg nobody want to make in order to make this game. I'm begging you guys to make the sequel and make better sprites and a better sequel. But I didn't beg anyone to like make this game. It's entirely my own, and I didn't beg my parents. It's a $0 zero cost game. And I use royalty free music, blah blah blah. You know what I said. And also, yeah, they're going on. They're talking. They're looking at the garage footage. This is also like the thing about having a less budget, because if I worked at a game director in Spike Chunsoft, or maybe even like I don't know Capcom, or maybe even a higher production. Then I'll just simply like show you guys the footage of the characters, the garage footage directly instead of describing it. Because there are definitely some limitations that words can, problem of words, like the characters in the story are looking at the footage, so they definitely have a much more advantage in trying to figure out the mystery than the players, because the players are only looking at this giant wall of text. Whereas the characters are, yeah, they definitely like listen to the characters talking, and they don't have first-hand experience, but sometimes they do have first-hand experience like this. But it's not a first-hand experience for the players. Yeah, this is also the basketball record. It is useful when it's useful. In fact, if you're really fucking smart, you might even be thinking about making a use out of it right now. Yeah, this is very useful information, because being able to like know when people locked and unlocked their own rooms is very useful information to have. This is also the thing about mass surveillance, is the fact that it kind of like solves all these mysteries, because that's the thing, like in modern society, like getting away with murder on the street is really fucking hard. In a city street where every corner has a camera, like trying to murder someone is kind of no, it's impossible without getting caught. The only reason this mystery is being hard is because these characters live in a mansion. Yeah, this is also one of the problems of being in a mansion, living in a mansion, because if you have a big mansion, then most likely, unless you're filling it up with people, like even if you fill it up with people, there's going to be like a huge space, and people are going to like, if someone like kills someone in your mansion and hides the body, it's going to take a while to find that body. And also, generally, you want to like, if you're living in a mansion, you don't want to live in the city where people are bustling. You just want to go away from other people. And if you do that, that also means it means less protection. And a certain like individuals or certain criminals can just attack into your mansion and take your family hostage. I'm just talking about the practical stuff. And in general, it's not like survival is guaranteed in any circumstance. In cities, there are problems. Obviously, in mansions, the air is nice, but there are problems. But generally, if you ask me, I'll definitely prefer to live in a mansion. I mean, living in nature is just so fucking cool. I don't fucking care. I care if certain criminals can just enter my mansion and whatnot. I don't care about that. I don't care about the city protection. I just love nature. If I had a choice in the matter, I will definitely be in the countryside. But the problem with the countryside is that you don't have internet access, but these folks are rich, so they don't have to worry about that. Yeah, like nature is important, but internet access probably is more important than nature sometimes to me. Man, the music is fucking banging, man. See, this is like the interesting thing. Like, I definitely could have made this harder, like this specific like question, because I could have just asked, oh, there's a certain evidence that that is related to Hori's disappearance that's interesting. You can choose that evidence, but that would be a little too scary and a little too bullshitty for starters. Like, this is like literally the first question, so it's just a question. So it's just a free question. Choose your answer type of question. And this is the thing. Like, if you like look at the room unlock and lock record, you can see that Hori's room door was unlocked here. It was unlocked here, and it was locked. And as you can see, there's nothing here. So her door was locked here and unlocked here. So that's very strange. See, yeah, it's a classic locked room mystery. Like Fushichin suggesting that, oh, if Marianne, if you weren't careful, if you like entered the room, Hori could have just gotten out when you entered her room, like behind your back, or when you leave the door open and go somewhere else. She could have just been hiding in the room and then just escape. But yeah, like Marianne like searched the room well before like going out, so she's confident she might be lying or not. Yeah, it's also a good point too, because like Marianne at that point, like at 0020 p.m. then Marianne had warned the other characters that about Tenmon's death, so they should be running around the mansion like crazy. Yeah, the window. So yeah, the previous video ended up here. I definitely think you guys should play the game yourself and then like watch me play it, because sometimes like I promise I'm not going to spoil it, but it's kind of hard to like talk about interesting stuff without spoiling things a little bit. But generally, this is the question end. Already we have a lot of evidence. Like, if you can definitely you can definitely brute force this if you want, but the more evidence gets added, it's kind of like hard to get brute force. So you're kind of forced to use your head. So basically, Fushichin is suggesting that Hori is escaping her window. But if you looked at this, and previously when they were drawing, Yumika and Marianne were drawing, Marianne says that Marianne and Yumika and everyone else wrote this information, and the private room information is that the window has a small opening where the person's head can barely fit through it. Most importantly, also the windows are not broken. Hori's room window is so small she can't fit through and escape it, and when I enter the room, the window is not damaged at all. Ah, I see. There goes that fury. It's definitely strange how she went missing. And we also jump to Salim. Salim was inside Jude's bedroom. Yeah, I'm going to start voicing now. I went out to meet Reiner and Suki. I opened up the door of the garage, but able to go to the keypad and meet Reiner and Suki without next to just Joseph's car arrived and entered the garage. After that, Jack's car arrived and entered the garage. Mihail's car arrived. Me, Suki, ran into the garage. Joseph and Suki went away, and Alex to Mihail's car and asked me to call it Mew. I got off the garage, went upstairs, knocked on Mew's door, and she opened. When I went downstairs to the garage, when I brought her there, Nell said he brought Mew a giant figure of her favorite anime mascot, but he needed a bunch of people to carry it because it was very heavy. Mihail went away after closing the back doors of his car. I went up to the garage and went into the hallway A1. Yeah, I'm going to fucking become an anime man. Let's go. Now, Yumiko was exiting the bathroom. I told her that anticipated guests have arrived. We went to the kitchen to make spaghetti for our guests and family as well. At that time, we both checked out and found out that all the kitchen exits were in the place. Mary entered the kitchen, asked us what we were cooking. When we said it's spaghetti, she told us that. Man, I'm so fucking scared that sometimes the freaking thing, the text box, the text in the might leak out of the text box because sometimes I kind of like get lazy or doesn't feel like spreading out the text and just create scenes like this. Sometimes we might have some funny scenes where the text might get out. But I tested this game quite a few times. I think it's fine. So he entered the kitchen. He said when the bishop was out, he got his food. Some usual day-to-day stuff. Yeah, at that point, then you and I realized that the knife was missing from the kitchen set. We just assumed that we dropped the knife somewhere while cooking, so we didn't think much of it. We tasted all the beverage drinks ourselves and carried out the place in giant pots of food. Meatballs, spaghetti noodles, and dining hall. Suki was in the hall watching us. So, it's safe to say that Suki, Maria, and Miu were the ones who could have taken that knife? I suppose, but I also wasn't paying attention to Yumiko, so she could have hid it behind her clothes. Yeah, so that's interesting. Like what they did in the kitchen might have been important, might not have been, but the point is that they entered the kitchen and the first knife was stolen there. Alright, proceed. Mary entered the dining hall and asked Yumiko to come with her to the library. The two of them went away. Suki scanned through the drinks and the beverages and asked to drink. I poured drink into the beautiful white guest cup and poured tea for myself in another cup as well. We both moved to the hallway 1A while drinking the tea and chatting. I was curious as to what was going on in the library, so I left Suki and entered the library. 16 p.m. I stayed at the library reading a book. Yeah, they weren't there, I guess. When I realized that I was being distracted, I went to the dining hall to set the table. Yuko was there. I helped her. We easily set the table up. You and Hori entered the dining hall. We told them to quickly gather everyone for dinner. Yumiko and I waited in the dining hall for everyone to gather. Almost everyone came. Then I asked Yumiko and I to eat with them. I realized I left the host members' personal cups and ketchup in the kitchen and ran to the kitchen. Yeah, a very amateur move, like having the guest cups there but not the family members' cups. That's kind of a bad move there, Jude. You're being a bad servant. Yumiko followed me. When she and I entered the kitchen, Mary was there. Yumiko started searching and gave me the cups while I washed it. After I finished washing them, Yumiko cleaned them all with a towel. While in the kitchen, I also made sure to check if the knives and sharp objects were in place. I made sure that no other sharp object was missing from the kitchen. Yumiko and Marianne could not have grabbed the knife during this time, as I last looked at the knife when leaving the room. Yeah, he was being super wary, huh? I grabbed the ketchup, a few cups, Yumiko grabbed a few cups, and got out while Marianne followed us. We brought those items onto the table and poured tea inside the cups, served everyone, and sat down. Everyone started eating their spaghetti except Tema, Joseph, who ate nothing. If you guys know, yeah, Tema was on the diet. Suki also didn't want to eat the spaghetti, but Marianne scolded him into eating the food. Some people used the kitchen with the spaghetti while some didn't. However, everyone drank tea except Mihal, who preferred not to drink tea at all. The family members drank in their own cups while the guests in the white guest cups from the set. Afterwards, me, Yumiko, took all the plates, pots away to the kitchen to wash them. We placed everything in the kitchen and started washing the dishes separately. Then Ryan entered the room looking for food to eat. We realized Ryan was left out at the dinner and gave him a leftover spaghetti and he drank some tea. Marion entered the kitchen and personally thanked us for the meal and laughed. I told Yumiko to get a rest. She exited the kitchen. I started playing with the game on my phone. Ryan left while I wasn't paying much attention to him. I continued to play on my phone. Tim entered the kitchen. I was playing with my phone, so I didn't pay much notice to him, and before I knew it, he was gone. After I finished playing it, I started cleaning and putting the plates in place. Then I realized another knife was missing from the set. Da-da-da! I suspected something awful was going to happen and decided to tell Ryan about it. I exited the kitchen, I exited the mansion and found Ryan outside of the front door. I told Runner with the two knives had disappeared from the kitchen. Runner said he'll keep an eye out on the others and entered the house. I decided to stay outside and gaze at the stars for a while. It was strangely beautiful evening, the full moon twinkling stars, and I also saw Ryan standing in the main hall through the window. Yeah, like I said, the mansion has the windows. The windows were not drawn on the map, but they are there. It was, unless, specified otherwise. He wasn't as assertive as I hoped he would be. I observed Ryan through the main hall window. 22 p.m. I observed Ryan until Joseph came into the main hall as well. In the end, I convinced myself that nothing bad was gonna happen and stopped eyeing Ryan and gazed at the stars, but I kept my ears open in case the door of the mansion opened and someone tried to stab me from behind. Yeah, he was a little bit paranoid there. Understandable. 23 p.m. I heard someone opening the door behind me. I looked back and see that it was Marianne and she had entered the main hall. I placed my attention back to the stars. 00 a.m. Reiner came out to tell me that Tim was found dead in his bedroom. He introduced my worst fears became a reality. So nothing of note afterwards. Aside from the fact that we couldn't find Hori, nothing of note. I see. In regards to the second knife missing, these people could have took it. Okay, so obviously, again, another multi-question. If you press this, wait, what are you talking about? Suki and Hori never came to the kitchen. Yeah. Oh, dang right. So yeah. Definitely, if you make mistakes, you can make mistakes. Oh, also, this is really funny. I don't think, yeah. Yeah, this isn't funny. This is kind of funny. Yeah, that seems like it. I feel like I missed someone. The funny part is that, yeah, you missed out Jude himself. Like, the point is that Salim is supposed to deduce that Reiner, Yumiko, Marianne, Tema, Jude, any of these five could have taken the second knife. So, So leaving out Jude is kind of funny because Jude also probably realized the fact that he was left out, or maybe he didn't realize, and he doesn't comment on it. Yeah, it's all right, and it sounds like, I think I missed someone. Reiner, Yumiko, Marianne, and Temako took it. Of course, when there's a lion, took it yourself. Please don't joke like that. I don't do comedy. Jude gulped at that statement. Judith Johnson has been added to alibis. Okay, I think this song is a little bit. God dang it. Okay, maybe I didn't try hard enough. I definitely could have. I definitely should have done this in the next version of this game. But basically, certain music are a little too loud, and certain music are not as loud as I expect them to be. Muse theme creation is. Not as loud as I wanted it to be, but I don't know. I just felt like didn't want to mess with it, and I want to post version. This version 1.0 is pretty understandably good, and I also want people to play the game as soon as possible because I definitely think I could add more sound effects to this game, and I definitely could have mess with the volume of certain music more. But volume is such a fucking non-problem. If you're playing this all alone by yourself or even with friends, you can adjust the volume yourself. Someone knocked on my door and I opened it. Jude was there. Jude and I went downstairs to the garage. Nell said he brought me a giant rabbit figure. It was my favorite anime mascot. Yeah, you can definitely see some converging testimonies. But that's the point. If characters don't have convergent testimony, it means that one of them omitted an information due to being lazy, or one of them are lying. The giant rabbit figure upstairs while I followed them. I opened the door to my room and the three of them placed the giant figure in my room. I joked about how this creates less space in my room, but Niall was pretty grumpy and told me that he'll check up on her. God damn it. Again, the typos. Check on me after a few days to make sure I was keeping the figure inside my rooms. It's fine. I'm going to change it up. Yeah, this is the thing that happens when you rush it. But I kind of want to have a record in my Discord server where people play the game and post the typos there instead of me aimlessly going around this freaking game and trying to find all the problems. with it. Because I did, it's just that I sometimes get bored and my eyes go through over certain mistakes. They went to play, I locked my door and went upstairs, entered the kitchen. Downstairs, I entered the kitchen, hung around the kitchen, grabbed some food and got out. 4 p.m. I encountered Hori in the main hall. Hori asked me to play basketball with her, and together we decided to go to the basketball court to play. After I finished eating my food, we played basketball for a while. Hori started complaining about her normal clothes being sweaty. She said she will change and told me to not to peek, otherwise she'll beat me up, saying that she entered the tennis room and locked the door. You're both girls. What's wrong with you seeing her? Yeah, there isn't anything, but I think she was trying to surprise me. Huh, yeah. Girls being girls. I played at the basketball court alone while she was in the other room. She took a while to change. 4 p.m., Hori entered the basketball court with her changed clothes. She looked fantastic in the gym outfit. Oh, if only I could meet her again. We played basketball for a while. We then entered the tennis court to play a little. But she and I decided to go to the dining hall because we were hungry. Hori told me to go ahead while she put the rackets back and cleaned things there. I entered the main hall and then went to the first floor bathroom. After I got out of the bathroom, I met Hori at the main hall. We entered the dining hall and met Jude and Yumiko there. Hori entered the dining hall soon enough. Yumiko told us to go and tell everyone to gather here for dinner. I split up from Hori and entered the rec room to find Mihail and Jack. I told them about their dinner and tried to enter the dark room to see if anyone was there, but it was locked, so I knocked. The door opened and Joseph was there. I told him about dinner, and together we went to the dining hall. Everyone was at the dining hall except Mom and our bodyguard Reiner, but Yumiko and Jude brought Mom after going to the kitchen to grab our family cups. Everyone started eating their spaghetti. It was so delicious. Dad and Joseph did not eat pho. Suki also didn't want to eat the spaghetti, but Marianne scolded him into eating the food. Get owned, nerd! After food, I was bored, so I went upstairs and watched TV in the fun room. 9 p.m., I watched TV. After I was done watching, I turned the TV off and headed to my own room. When I arrived in front of my room, strangely enough, the door of my room was opening before I remember locking it. Suspicious. I figured that my mom or dad invaded my privacy as usual. I entered my room, locked the door, and immediately opened up my phone and live streamed and talked about the importance of privacy and personal space. Wait, you streamed during that time? Yes. Do you want a link to my channel? My live stream during that time is saved on my channel. That's really great. I entered the live stream and lied on my bed, but I couldn't sleep. I exited my room, then I went to the Hori's room and opened her door using the spare master keycard. Inside the room I didn't find Hori. I closed her door and locked it, then went back into my own room. I was wondering where she might have gone to. You had the master keycard then, but you lost it somehow. When? I don't know, my mind is a little fuzzy after I found Hori to be missing and Dad to be dead. You can't blame me. Alright, continue. I was worried about Hori, so I went downstairs to meet Suki and Reiner there. Mom came running down from upstairs and yelled about how she found Dad dead. We started running around every room and finding anyone we can to alert them about Dad's death. Yeah, the background music does not fit this scene. I mean, what she's talking about, I guess. But it's kind of weird to change music every time someone says something dark. During the search, me and everyone else couldn't find Hori at all in the mansion. And she's still missing. Yeah, you have got to find her. Helen got up to her feet, smiled and threw a thumbs up towards her. Don't worry, your sister will be found. That's what detectives are for. Mew looked at her with big eyes and soon giggled. Wow, you're awesome. I didn't know the police were so cool. Of course we are. We're the warriors of justice. What else could be more cooler than that? The two of them exchanged smiles. I played basketball at the court alone. I went out to meet Reiner. Jude also came. Me, Reiner, and Jude waited for the guests to arrive in front of the mansion. Yeah, these cars arrived. Jimmy and Reiner entered the garage. Joseph grabbed me for hugging and went to in the hall. Niall asked Jude to call Mew. Jude left the garage. George followed him. Soon Jude came up with Mew. Niall said he brought Mew a favorite of her favorite muscle, you know the drill. Reiner, me, and Niall carried the giant rabbit ring to the main hall and upstairs, while Mew followed us. Mew opened her room door and we placed the giant figure in her room. I departed and entered my own room. I decided to take a nap but realized I was hungry, so I decided to go upstairs. I entered the kitchen. I told him I want to have a vegetable salad before dinner. Yumiko quickly cooked a vegetable salad for me while I wandered around the kitchen. I entered the dining hall with my salad and quickly ate all of it. Soon Yuko and Jude came into the dining hall and placed tons of pasta on the table. Miriam, my mom, entered the... Miriam, my mom. I think the comments here is kind of wrong. Maybe it's right, I don't know. Entered the dining hall and asked him to come with me to the library. The two of them went away. I scanned through the drinks and beverages and asked to drink tea with Jude. Jude poured a drink for a copy for me and poured the tea for himself as well. We both moved to the hallway while drinking tea and chatting. Jude said he was curious as to what was going on in the library, so he left me and entered the library. I went into the bathroom to have a shower in the bath. I relaxed in the bathtub. It was great. After changing clothes, I went to the dining hall and was there just in time for dinner. Jude and Yumiko went to the kitchen and returned with Marianne. I didn't want to eat spaghetti. I was starting to become not so huge fan of cow meat, but Mom scolded me into eating the food. It didn't feel great. George asked Dad to give George his test tubes and chemical collection that he promised to give him a while ago. I was happy to give it to George. George entered the garage and pulled out the trolley and brought it to the main hall. Dad, George, me, Niall, and Jack and Michal all went upstairs into the lab and brought down chemicals and Jude was very careful on the trolley. George put a white sheet on it. After that was done, George, me, Niall, Jack, Dad, Michal went to the rec room, played some blood bowl. After playing a little, Dad became quiet, his face blew and he left the room. His face became blue. It's a figure of speech, but it was kind of blue, grayish. It looked sickly, almost as if he's about to throw up or something. Yeah, interesting information. Now, why will that happen? I don't know. Anyways, continue. Continuing to play, I ended up winning the game. I'm quite skilled. What can I say? Michal and George seemed tired of losing. They went away. Soon Niall went away as well. It was a bummer. Jack was the only other person who stayed, but he wasn't concerned about playing. Jack and I watched movie to TV. The movie finished, we chatted for a while after that. We then moved to the dining hall, then to the main hall. Niall, George, Michal, Reiner were in the main hall. Niall and George talked about how Reiner accused them and questioned them for his missing knife. Jack was furious. Soon they all decided to leave this place, so Jack, Michal, Niall, George entered the garage while me and Reiner followed them. Jack went into his car and drove out of the mansion. After the trolley was placed inside the car, Niall and George entered the Michal's car and Michal drove off. When Reiner and I went to the back into the main hall, Mew was at the main hall. Mom came running down from the stairs, panting. She yelled and that she found Tema dead on his bed with a knife on his chest. And actually, they called the police and didn't find for you. Alright, I suppose that's it then. I'll call you if I want to question you more, so keep good ears towards your phone. Got it. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of this shit, like alibi after alibi. Yeah, I'm deeply ashamed of myself. If I had been more responsible in my job, after all of this would have happened. Anyways, at least you should give us a good alibi. Right. I had breakfast with the Sushihara family. I stood outside the building next to the front door, monitoring any suspicious activity. Nobody was seen outside there around this time. Suki came out from the front door. Afterwards, Jude came out as well. Jude went and opened up the door of the garage by inputting the code on the keypad. Me, Jude, Suki waited for the guests to arrive while standing in front of the mansion, yet the cars arrived. I left the room and stood outside of the mansion to keep an eye out on who goes and enters the house. I was starting to get tired, so at 40:50, I entered the main hall of the house and entered the garage. There's a little bit on the garage for me. It was so warm, so I napped on my bed there. Sleeping on the job, I see. Most crimes are committed during the evening or nighttime. I was preparing myself for that. I mean, like, Reiner's sprite looks so fucking pompous and arrogant, but Reiner is, for, like, as you can see, he's a pretty chill guy. Well, I guess it's the time for the weakness fault for not hiring 2 bodyguards for change shifts. Go on. I woke up, I realized I had a nap for too long, so I went outside of the house. I was also hungry, so I entered the main hall and entered the kitchen. Jude and Yumiko realized I had no food and gave me a leftover spaghetti and drank some tea and ate food. Marianne entered the kitchen and personally thanked Jude and Yumiko for the meal, then left. Jude told Yumiko to get a rest. She exited the kitchen, I sat there for a while, then left. When I arrived at the main hall, I encountered Marianne. There was a table-like thing in the main hall, covered in white sheet. We exited the main mansion and we chatted for a while in front of the door. Joseph came to us, said hi, and entered the mansion through the front door. As soon as Marianne left, Jude came out of the building. Yeah, we returned to some old crowds here. Yeah, I entered the main hall. I figured that the best way to run to obstruct the communities of the people may just be to stand at the main hall and observe people. I ensured that no one has entered or exited the main hall during this time. During 3 p.m., Joseph entered the main hall from the hall of rooms and asked me to help him carry stuff. I walked with him and entered the guest room. I carried an already taped giant carton box with him. It was quite heavy. We entered the main hall to encounter Jack and George, but we didn't talk. We went to the garage and placed the giant carton box in his car's luggage section. You didn't ask him what it was. I didn't. Joseph was a trusted guest, and even if I asked, how will I know if it's a lie or not without opening the box? Proceed. We both exited the garage. George and I were at the main hall. George told Joseph to go home without him. Joseph went into the garage. I inquired from George and Al about their whereabouts, and I told him about how a knife was missing. George got extremely angry, saying that I was falsely accusing him of attempted murder. I told him to calm down, but Niles also barged in and suggested George should leave this mansion before any trouble came up. Niles and George, however, still asked me to help find the hall. The irony of that. We entered Hall 1A. I went to the bathroom to check if my house was in it, but the bathroom was empty. When I exited, Niles and George were not there, so I decided to check the kitchen as well, but Niles and George were there. When I exited, I met Niall and George. When the three of us went back to the main hall, we encountered Mihail. Right then, Suki and Jack entered the main hall as well. Niall and George told them about how I accused them and questioned them. Jack and Mihail were not happy to hear this. So Jack, Mihail, Niall, and George entered the garage while Suki and I followed them. Jack immediately drove off. George put the white sheeted table-like thing in Mihail's car. And they also drove off in the house car. When Suki and I went back to the main hall, Mew had already come. So Marion came and as you can see, the alibis are stacking up. Yeah, true falls are not stacking up. There's a reason for that. You have to wait. Clancy was in Yumiko's room. He scanned through the room with his eyes before bringing out his recorder and starting it. Start from the top, the day of the murder. 8 a.m. Made breakfast for the full family with June. 9 a.m. After serving breakfast for the family, me and June ate breakfast in the kitchen. Decided to go read a book in the library. I continued to read a book in the library. I exited the library and went to the bathroom. I went out of the bathroom to meet Jude. He told me that the anticipated guests have arrived. I went into the kitchen to make spaghetti with Jude for our guests and the family as well. At that time, I checked to notice that all the kitchen accessories were in place. Mariana entered the kitchen and asked us what we were cooking. When we said spaghetti, she told us that Tim was not eating dinner because he was going to have his once-a-week fasting. Mariana left dinner. Mariana left. We entered the kitchen and got out. Took entered the kitchen and also got out. And Jude and I realized the knife was missing from the kitchen set. We just assumed that we dropped the knife somewhere while cooking, so we didn't think much of it. We tasted the spaghetti, drank the tea ourselves, and carried and placed giant pots of these spaghetti noodles and meatballs on the table of the dining hall. Suki was in the hall watching us. Mariana entered the dining hall and asked me to come with her. I did so. I hung out with her for a while. Then we separated, and I went into the kitchen to clean some of the plates there all by myself. I went back to the dining hall to set the table. Jude came to help me. We easily set the table up. And Mew and Hori entered the dining hall. We told them to quickly gather everyone for dinner. And Jude and I went for the dining hall for everyone to gather and they came. Also we're trading some old crowns here, I think. Since this cups while washing it and cleaned up a towel. Jude cleaned up. Mew cleaned them with the towel. Jude grabbed a few cups, and while Mariana followed us. We brought those onto the table and sat down. Mew and Jude served the guests as well as the house members. Everyone started eating the spaghetti except Tara and Joseph, who ate nothing and all looked at us and talked. She also didn't want to eat the spaghetti, but Mariana called him into eating it. Everyone drank tea except Mihail, who preferred not drink tea at all. The family members drank tea in their cups, and while the guest cups drank the white cups on the set. Jude and I took plates away and washed them. We placed everything in the kitchen. Then Ryan entered the room looking for food to eat. We realized Ryan was left out of the dinner and gave him the leftover spaghetti and he drank some tea. Mariana entered the kitchen and personally thanked us for the meal and then left. Jude told me to get a rest. I took his word and exited the kitchen. I went into my room. This is the part where it diverges. and relaxed on the bed. Someone knocked on my door. I opened the door to bump into Joseph. When exactly at 20 that this happened? Actually, I don't remember. It could be 2030. I'm sorry for my bad memory. Proceed. Joseph said he needed the guest room to be open so he could pack up things he had placed there before. I went to the guest room with him and opened up the guest room door with my key. As expected, no one was inside it. There was a giant carton box there that was placed in there to help Joseph carry his stuff. However, when I peered into the box, it was empty. I went back to my room and locked the door to sleep. A violent knocker was heard on my door. When I opened it, Ryan said that he was killed. I quickly put my clothes on and headed out. That's about from my alibi. Okay, thank you for your cooperation. We'll ask you if something is needed. Yes. Send a Clancy exited the room. Yo, yeah, finally. We had a break from all those info dumping. Clancy went to the dining hall and called others to gather there. He also told them to compile a list of evidence from the alibis they have gathered. Soon truth files began swarming inside their Cup Club system. And yeah, Jesus Christ, here it comes. Bunch of shit just gets added to your truth files. I mean, it's mostly there because I didn't want you guys to pay too much attention to who's giving you the most amount of evidence. But even then, I could have just written it so to make it mysterious. Yeah, a lot of shit just got added. Soon Goldhammer, Helen, Salim, Fisherton entered the dining hall, one after another. Oh man, now I gotta read stuff from the truth files and the alibis. Lame. Why did you ever even become a comic if you never liked reading? Cause I get to flex my 200 IQ towards people like you who mock me. And I can't read. I was just lowering your guard so to take you by surprise. What the hell are you on? We're on the same team, dummy. So, what should we do next? Read and discuss. We have a lot of information on our hands now. The other suspects have yet to come. Do we have oh my god, Clancy and Galton were so similar. Do we have all the info we need? Should we also check the clothes of the suspects? There was a struggle between the culprit and the victim after all. Sorry to disappoint you, but a struggle may not have happened. Look at this. Okay, the answer, the wrong answer to this is very funny. Look at this. Is this meant to be your emo poem? Cause I don't understand shit. No, you see, it's my big chungus. Never mind, let me try that again. Again, comedy is subjective, okay? Yeah, I know what it is. The right answer is, you guys, if you guys cared about spoilers, you wouldn't be watching this video this late. According to Marianne, Tam had wrinkled clothes and his color was ripped during the dinner. I mean, this is pretty obvious if you paid attention to what Marianne was saying. Even Fushigin took note of that. It's strange that only Marianne noticed this, but considering how I had to closely inspect him to notice this, it's easy for the insightful to miss. I see. So, Tim will struggle against someone from before 8 p.m. Whom? I don't know about that. Maybe the other suspect can tell us when they come. The five of them sat on the chairs and started reading the files when Joey came into the dining hall. Guys! The team checked the clean knife for the fingerprints and found none. I guess this knife really is super clean. It just couldn't be that easy, could it? The detectives read the alibis and truth files carefully for half an hour. What's the matter? I feel like there's something off about certain alibis. I feel so as well. Well, no use contemplating. Bring the one you suspect into the room and smack some truth onto their faces. Hey, let me plan things a little. All plans are doomed to fail. You gotta live in the present, my girl. Make shit up as you go. Stop telling me what to do. I wasn't. It was just a friendly advice to my favorite police girl. I'll kick you in the balls. Salim, could you bring the suspect if one of us calls for them? Sure. Yeah, this is the part where you definitely can't get stuck. Like up until now, the questions asked have been multi-answer questions, or occasional where you choose an evidence. But this time it's going to be hard. And even like the choose the question, choose the evidence type of questions are generally easy because you can just brute force it if you get stuck. Whereas in here, it's kind of hard to brute force. Okay, for example, let me show. You call Jude, tell me what I'm calling out of Jude. Yeah, and you can see that there's some cool animations going on here. So, okay, for example, let's start talking. So, Yumiko. It's Yumiko. I know. Fushichan eyed Yumiko up from down. Helen slapped the back of Fushichan's head. What the hell was that for? You're obviously being a perv. No, I was totally using my detective vision. Was that derpy expression on your face also necessary for your detective vision? I just focused too much, okay? Why do I doubt that? Maybe it's because Fushishima has a maid fetish. Pathetic! Hey, that's private info, Galtimur. It's necessary to inform all sorts of truth to our team. Can a guy have some privacy? Well, you never should have trusted your privacy to me. Fushishima will remember this act of betrayal. Should I go? Only if we say so. Anything you want to add to your alibi? No, I have said everything I remember there. I think I need to make a voice that goes like low. I think Juniper's kind of like that. Like a woman that sounds low. Whereas like Mew is so high and like Yuka and Helen kind of starting to sound very similar. You know, as much as I like writing and programming, I also really like voice acting. But I'm not that great at it. But I haven't really tried that hard. Okay, like trying to this is what I mean. Huh? You lie here, I'm certain of it. So yeah, you have to point out which part of their alibi the person lied. This can't be real. Yes, no. It is real. Look at this evidence. So yeah, you have to if you think someone's lied on a certain part of their alibi, you have to pick that certain timeline and then pick the evidence to prove that the person was lying there. And yeah, look at this evidence. What? What? He just likes to show off his boomer collection. What are you talking about? My logic makes perfect sense. No, sir. Just give up, sir. Clancy revealed a very sad face, as if a child whose parents weren't appreciating his drawings. I mean, talking in is pretty fun too. I mean, just generally talking to the characters. So, how's life going? Fine. No. I'm going to show you guys some really funny interactions. I guess terrible considering my husband just died and my daughter is missing. Don't let it get too much. I think it's that easy to stay calm. I wasn't trying to say that, I was just worried for you, Sal. Take care of yourself. Thanks, I guess. Clancy showed a confident smile towards her. Are you hitting on me? What? Just because my husband is dead doesn't mean I'm willing to spread my legs for any man who shows sympathy for me. You mistook me for a woman with no dignity. No, that's not what I... How dare you! Our boss is way more cooler and level-headed than your sorry excuse of a husband. He has the money and the power. If you don't take his gentle offer, then he might have to force you to submit in uncomfortable ways. Fushi, shut the fuck up. Man, I wrote it myself, but sometimes I kind of wonder, man, something amazing just possessed me when writing this. And look at this fucking smiling. Do you have any kids, Jude Johnson? Well, yes, in fact, I do. What? Are you trying to threaten me? If I don't take the fall for this case, my family will be in an unfortunate accident. If you're going to say stuff like that, then I might as well oblige. Dude, what are you on? Yeah, who the hell do you think we are? We're the good guys trying to find the truth of what happened. Oh, sorry, I've never been interrogated by cops before. And you all are looking at me with such deadly eyes, especially him. Jude pointed towards Slim with his finger. Oh, him? He's always like that. Definitely born to be the bad cop. Shut up, or I'll throw you down the toilet. See what I mean? And I don't think that Fred was a joke. He's the type of guy to wear all black clothes, frown all the time, and say stupid shit like, I don't do jokes. Hey, I don't wear all black, but the rest is pretty accurate. No wonder you're single. I'm just going to like... I was thinking like, let's get all the wrong answers first. I'm not sure if I will continue this Let's Play or not. I guess it turns into a Let's Play now. Like, it's kind of boring because I know my answers. All the answers because, you know, I made it. Like this, I've been serving people for my job for years. Really, do anyone actually give me a present besides my salary? That's not a present. Give it back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, kind of getting bored, and I honestly think you guys should just play this game on your own by downloading it. I guess I think I'll just end it here. The advantages of like completely new game is that currently if you play it, you won't be spoiled. Even I am like hesitant to make a like walkthrough of it. So if you can definitely like play it for yourself and finish it. However, there are definitely a few people who know the story of this game and know the tricks and maybe not they don't know the gimmicks of the gameplay, but I definitely know the general story and the revelations, simply because, like I said, this game was adapted from a Discord murder mystery that I wrote and hosted. So the people who participated in it or people who read it on my Discord will know certain answers, a lot of answers. So those people have a huge advantage. For those who are blind, you are blessed because you get to play this entire game alone, blind, and you can challenge yourself. You know, sometimes, you know, I know it's hard, you can get stuck, but please be patient with my games. Please, like detective and puzzle games do need patience. That's what makes puzzle games so fun. Trying so hard, being receptive to the truth, and everything clicking in your head, that's just great. Well, see you later.